test to go live.
I just want to make sure y'all can still see me if I go like to another.
Yeah, I can still see you. I can see all four of you guys. Let me know what's going on with Danielle so I can get her in. Okay, so now we're live on YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, so right now we're live on there. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave it on here for a minute just to see how it'll look. So anybody that comments over here on YouTube will be able to see over here on the side. And then this will, of course, post to my YouTube channel. And then if you guys want it, I'll send it to you guys.
The comments.
Yeah, it'll record the comments and everything. Yeah, everything will be kept a record for and everything. Here's Danielle. Okay.
You got her on?
She just sent me her email. Did she make an account? Let me see.
No, not yet.
I can't believe we're really putting ourselves out there.
We're not gonna say anything wild, right? Right?
We said it.
We're not saying anything wild, right?
No, I won't say anything wild.
Yeah, Skip, you got to worry about. If he comes in like we know. I said, it's Skip we got to worry about. That's not gonna be on best behavior, you know.
Oh, you want to go over the things we said? We would go over. Okay.
Sure.
Skip.
Yeah, ignore the.
What are the real differences between rich and... Oh, okay. We're going to start off with the quote first. And then... Okay, how do you guys want to do introduction?
We can just be like...
Yeah. What? Yeah, I think we should like start doing like intros.
Yeah.
Nase, can you hear
I don't know how we should do it.
I was thinking like a mic check. And playing Kyle's music.
Okay.
I
can work.
That. Is there a way we can like play it so never mind. One of us is just gonna have to play it. I'm not sure how we do that.
I'll do it. Wait. Manasseh. Does that affect Manasseh if I play Kyle's music?
Oh, it might. I'll find it. He texted it to me.
He sounds very low. I wonder, where's your phone at? Where is it at by your computer?
Right next to the little bubble. I don't know how a computer works. Let me figure it out. Where's the mic? You sound perfect.
I get. Yeah, we can't hear it on our end. Try and slide, like you see how your phone's like this. Try and prop it up against the computer monitor, like where the computer meets the. Try to prop him there, and then let's see if we can hear him better.
What about now? Manasseh, say something.
What about now?
Good, perfect.
That's better.
Better. Sounds great.
I'm glad.
All right, great. All right, so Danielle, I'm telling her, so we've got about 12 minutes until we start.
On the IG story.
Okay, so all you would need to do is just share the link on YouTube. So if you guys want to go to YouTube.com and then just type in let's see here. Well, actually, I could send you the link. Is that better if I send you guys the direct link?
Yeah.
Okay.
Type in what?
Because the title is it that deep, rich and poor, under Swagger 99. But I'll just send you guys the direct link.
Yeah, that might work, and then I'll put it on the IG story.
Coolio. Okay, so let me email it to you, Tyson, Let me email it to you, Zion.
Okay.
Mike. I just sent it to you guys.
We're sad to be parking live streaming journey if you want to stay.
Yeah, so you guys would just need to copy that link and you guys know how to do it and put it in your IG story, Snapchat story, whatevs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh wow, it already took like a little picture of us.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Okay. If Danielle got it together, I'm gonna go ahead and add
Wait,
her.
hey, Zion.
Yeah.
If I should I keep doing this, or what if I had my laptop back? Should I join on the laptop or just do it like this?
You guys,
I'll let him know because it depends on who comes in because there's only 6 of there. It can only be 6. So if Cooper or John beats him, then it's fine. It's fine the way. If he likes it like this, then he doesn't have to worry about it. It's up to him.
It's fine. It's whatever works best for you. Us.
Okay, cool. If Cooper and John and Kyle, if they don't join, then yeah, you can get on your laptop. But if one of them joined before you, then yeah.
Oh.
This works
Do y'all
just
get
like
that
Zoom.
delay, or is that just me?
yeah, I hear it too.
Yeah, it's okay.
What happened?
I hear it with everything. You hear my own voice. That's weird.
There's a delay. Oh, I think it's because I'm on YouTube.
Oh, you can ignore that. Ignore that. Because Kyle's texting me. He's asking me what's going on, and I told him.
I'm kind of nervous. I don't know why today.
The link. Oh, no. I'm trying to add this link. For some reason, I can't do it. To the IG story.
Okay, I think Kyle's home. You said unlock the door. I ain't going downstairs. That's too far.
Are you and Kyle gonna do it together on the same computer?
That's a good point. You're smart. You see, she is so smart. I don't know why I was thinking him to have his own thing. I don't know. I could bring my laptop and go into his room and do that. Yeah, let me talk to him and see because that is smart. Because if he could do that, that saves an extra spot for whoever else can come in, like John or Daniel or Cooper. That is smart. Okay,
Manasseh, we're going live at 9:15.
Yeah. So we got about 7 minutes. So yeah, if you guys want to still continue to get it out there.
Yeah, y'all prepared? What is your worry?
Huh?
Any questions?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Any questions?
No. I'm trying to figure out how to add the link to our
The link's not working to you?
No, I can't add it to our IG story. That's the only issue.
Oh. They might. I think they took that feature. Because I think it was something like that. I was
Yeah.
trying to add a link too. I think they took it away on Instagram for some stupid reason. Yeah.
Yeah, they must have because I can't do it. Let me Google it again.
Mm. Before we start, how do you guys feel about the quote?
Oh, okay.
Rich people stay rich by living like they're broke. Broke people stay broke by living like they're rich. I like that.
That's the fucking truth.
So,
You think that's true?
so is this like the very like first episode?
No,
Okay.
but this is the first public one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's not the first. It's not the first. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't do anything crazy with it and doesn't like remove it or something stupid. Because I don't know, YouTube does that.
You sure we shouldn't put Manasseh on the fifth one?
I'm just saying if he wants to. I'm just saying if he wants to, he can. It's up to him.
Manasseh,
Yeah.
you can get on a computer.
Yeah, sure. What the? Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Actually coming back from this way or back? I have no idea.
Could you hear him?
Did he make an account through?
No, I gotta do all that.
Okay.
Mine does not do any of that. So what do I just go on the website?
Go to
Yeah,
StreamYard.com. Yeah.
and give me your Gmail. Well,
I'll
can I
text it
forward
to you.
it?
What's the website called?
StreamYard.
STREM. StreamYard. StreamYard. And then I put my email in there and stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys could hear him?
I could. Yeah, a minute ago. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If that link doesn't work, because it says we're still up over
No, it's
here.
work. It works. It works.
Okay.
I just was trying to figure out the best way to put it on Instagram so people can see it.
Send me your email. Or to the group.
Whew, 3 minutes.
Yep.
I'm gonna email it to you. Let's see. Did you get it?
Wait, who are you emailing it to?
Not you, Chris?
What'd you say?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, I thought you were talking. That's why. Okay.
We're about to go live in the
About a couple of minutes.
How are you guys gonna start it?
We could probably introduce us. We could probably just go around and introduce ourselves. Right?
I think it's been my first time putting myself out there.
Oh, we're gonna start. Okay. It's funny how I said we're gonna introduce ourselves and everybody got quiet.
Alright.
I'm gonna need my charger for this one.
About 1 minute.
How I look?
Ugly. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
You remember that? You remember the episode was Courage? And they were like, Miriam was like, "How do I look?" And he was just like, "Ugly." Oh.
I remember that.
All right. So I sent it to everybody. Who would want to come in? So we will see. Go ahead.
9:15.
Okay. Whenever y'all. Whenever y'all.
I guess I'll start.
Okay.
All right. This is it that deep? I'm Mike.
I'm Tyson.
I'm dying.
I'm Cam.
Oh, Manasse's on.
Manasseh
on his phone.
Yeah,
Wait.
he said, "Can y'all hear me?"
No, I think he would go get a computer.
Yeah, did he went to go get a computer? Because I had him in.
Yeah. Oh, John is here.
John is here?
John is here.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me add him in. Sorry.
Manasseh,
Oh, there's Manasseh. Oh, my bad. There's Manasseh right there.
All
My
right.
bad.
There's Manasseh.
And then John.
And John was John. I don't see John.
He put it in the
Jonathan.
private chat that he's here. So you might need to send him the link again.
He said put him in. Did you send him the link?
I sent him the link already.
Oh.
I'll send him another one, but I didn't.
John?
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Hello? Hi. Cam can figure it out.
What is he saying?
No. Just stay on the line with me, though. Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear?
Hear who?
Yeah.
Hear
I'm
who?
about to send John another link to join in. Yeah, so I see Manasseh, Tyson, Mike, Zion, me. Okay. All right, John. So as soon as John, so tell John I sent him another link, and as soon as he accepts, he'll be in.
Hold on, I'm gonna do something IG.
Okay. All right. If you don't, since the link won't pop up in there, you could just tell them, is it that deep? When they type it on YouTube, is it that deep? Rich and Poor, it should come up. Yeah, that's the name of the title. All right. So how's John doing? What did he do? Did he go to the email? I sent him an invite.
He said he's about to log in.
Okay.
Can
And he will be the last. Yeah, I can hear you, Manasseh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Alright.
This works just like Zoom.
Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, but except Zoom is over priced.
Well, now it is because now more people need to use it.
Yeah, unfortunately so. They know what they're doing.
They smart. I'm trying to post it on Instagram, but
Yeah, you can just take a picture of it and then just type in, like I said, is it that
Or go repost the
it should come.
Yeah, or repost what I put on the OG. Is it that deep?
Yeah.
whatchamacallit,
I think
doohickey.
that's John. Let me see.
Doohickey?
There's John. Okay, I see you, John. I see you. I got you.
Who's that? Oh, my bad. I didn't
There
say
he
that.
There he is.
Okay, we got it.
All right. I think we've got everybody. Okay, so you want to start again?
Yeah, let's start again. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. This is It That Deep? I'm Mike.
I'm Zion.
I'm Cam.
Jonathan.
John.
Manasseh.
And I am Manasseh.
And I'm Tyson.
Okay.
All right, and this is It That Deep? This week's topic is the rich and the poor. Not necessarily rich versus poor, but just rich and the poor.
Yeah, and
Go
before
ahead,
we
Zion.
begin, I was thinking that we should take some time, maybe a moment of silence for the people that pass away or are affected by
COVID-19.
COVID-19. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you guys want a minute or?
Or just
Probably about 30
just a
seconds or so.
chance to send our condolences.
Yeah.
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 A few seconds.
Okay, and also to send out thank yous to the nurses, to the doctors who are working right now,
And all the-
risking their lives. Yeah,
The store clerks too.
the store.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
Everybody.
The store clerks. Yeah.
Everybody
That is
that's
so-
still going out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you to grocery store clerks, truck drivers, medical professionals, restaurant workers, anybody that's works in sanitation. Wanna
Definitely.
Thank those
Definitely.
people too.
Definitely so, because I went into the Kroger's today, and for some reason today I saw a lot of elderly people working. They're look like their backs are thrown out, faces red, tired, and they're working triple shifts probably just to provide for the panic and the rabble that's running up in there and running out. And the police stress not to panic buy either, because you don't want to do that, because if you're taking all the supplies where somebody else doesn't have one, it's not fair for someone who really needs it. So
Mhm.
Everyone is feeling okay though, right?
Mhm.
I'm
Well,
feeling
I can't speak for yourself. All good.
What? Mike, what'd you say?
No, I said I'm good. I was asking everyone if they were good. That's what I said.
I had like my brother had he had like a slight cough, and my first instinct was like call the ER, but that's something that I learned is part of the problem, because people keep on calling the ER. They're kind of like dragging the resources away from people who really need it. So that's something else. But I was gonna play Kyle's music. Does anyone have it on?
Oh yeah, our theme song. While we get into our topic.
Literally.
Hold on. Can you hear it? Hold on. I thought it started. Okay. Can you guys hear it?
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. Zion, do you want to start off, or do you want me to?
Okay, rich versus poor. The quote is this, and it made me slightly angry, but I want to know how you guys feel about it. Rich people stay rich by living like they're broke. Broke people stay broke by living like they're rich. We don't know who said that, but I totally disagree.
I 100% disagree.
I know
agree.
Manase feels different.
I agree.
So the
Manase,
question, could you repeat the question again? You said it was.
you agree with the quote?
You said I'm gonna type the quote in here again. Can you say the quote again?
It goes, rich people stay rich by living like they're broke. Broke people stay broke by living like they're rich.
Can the music come down just a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody was making a beat.
Oh no.
Kyle.
Kyle made the beat.
Yeah, shout out
I
to
feel
Kyle.
like a week and a half. Shout out to Kyle. Is that good? You guys want to come down a little bit more?
So here's the quote right
Ooh,
here.
that's cool.
The quote appears right up underneath this. So rich people stay rich by living. Excuse me, I can't type. By living like. Let me type it again. So
You did it really fast though.
yeah, I was trying to go as fast as I could. So rich people stay rich by living like they are broke. Broke people stay broke by living like they're rich.
It's true to a certain aspect, but if we're talking about like the real issue between the rich and the poor, I don't think it really grasps the whole situation. But that is true to a certain extent.
Yeah.
What's the real issue then?
It's more like saying you gotta pick
Resources.
yourself up.
Yeah, but I guess we'll get into that as we go through.
I mean, personally,
So why do you guys?
I feel like
Why are you? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, like, personally, I feel like the quote speaks volume. I mean, I would agree with it because I would say that rich people will stay rich because, you know, and not all rich people. I'm gonna say people that made something. So people that say if they really started a business and now they're wealthy, or they came out with this new something, and if they've climbed to get there, not inherited something. If you climb to get, I will say right then and there that those types of people live like they're broke because they've been through the struggle. They know what it is to sacrifice that. I mean, you kind of look at, and I don't mean to be corny here, but you look at Mr. Krabs, man worth all that money, but he lived like he ain't got nothing. I mean, yeah, he's a cheapskate, but it's like that mentality where, like he don't have it when he really do. You can really see it. And then I would say broke people because at that point when you don't have money, when you get it, not everyone necessarily knows how to spend it. Not everyone necessarily knows how to keep it. They see the money, they see the paycheck, and they just they flaunt it. And this isn't the case for everybody, but this is the case for majority. I feel like if we start understanding money, like how to invest, how to save, that you'll be getting to build your wealth because not too many people know how to invest or know what that even is to save. Not many people can resist the temptation with that. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with it because it seems like a blanket statement that does more harm than good because rich people don't stay rich by being broke. They invest in other things, but they also take the time to choose their passion, right? You become rich by investing in your passion and what you want to do, what you're passionate about. And they most likely see the future in things compared to, I guess, broke people. They're living day by day. They don't have the same struggles and they don't have the same issues that people who are rich face. So of course, that it doesn't clearly represent why. There's more to why rich people are rich and more to why broke people are broke. I think it's more about
Can everybody hear me?
writing.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll wait. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was done.
Oh, okay. Oh, I do apologize again. Well, forgive me. I'm about to pull like a scripture out of the Bible right quick out of my head. It's a scripture that says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Honestly, and I stand by that as like my opinion on the matter. The more you know, the more value, like you said, value the passion that you have in your life, and you'll know what steps to move forward to make the best decisions for you. I think when you're born to a house, let's say for example, income, and you spend a lot of time. There's a lot of factors. You could not make enough, so you look at paycheck to paycheck. Not really
You're starting to break up a little bit. You're starting to break up a little
I
bit.
can barely hear you.
You can
Yeah.
barely hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I need to speak up?
There. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can speak up just a little bit better.
That's a little better.
Okay, so I just need to speak up, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So what I'm saying was, I'm sorry for that.
You're okay.
think it's I think people, and I said I was going to pull a scripture as my opinion, and that was people why people perish for lack of knowledge. I was saying for individuals who have that education, or sometimes, for example, or have the knowledge of how and why they invest, and then and have the luxury of the time, you know, to pursue their dreams, and also have like a safety net to pursue their dreams. I mean, there's an opposite side to that. You have people who, let's say, from lower income families that they put more hours into working, or let's say they have children, and they can't really have time to support their ideals, and then when they do get something, like, let's say their check, after they spend it on bills, you want some bit of happiness. I don't have the luxury of investing when I need to give my kids lunch money. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I'll say, like, in my household, I was lucky enough to have a mom and my dad didn't go to college, my mom did. She supported us, so she got me my first car. So I didn't have to take the bus. I just happened to have the luxury to go where I wanted. I went to my own interviews. I got my own jobs. And because of that, like, I just had more flexibility. When you have lower income families, where let's say broke, it's harder to find opportunity.
Are you driving right now?
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry, don't do it.
Wait, you're not actually driving though, right?
Of course I am. You already know I'm
Wait,
driving
what?
up there.
Oh,
I
It's
can't
called
stand
Like
that.
on the wild side.
Ooh, hey, y'all look, if y'all talk up the cops, you're gonna have some problems.
wait. I can't like decipher. Is it a joke? Are you legit driving?
Next.
It's okay.
He's
We can wait for
genuinely
you.
concerned.
Wait, no, I want to be a part of this. I'm almost home, to be honest. I'm almost home.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, our
I don't
first
say nothing else.
question.
Yeah, you brought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. That was
Where did
good.
Manasseh?
My first
Manasseh go
question.
out?
Oh, we gonna wait for Manasseh or?
No, I don't know where he went.
He might have. I'll add him back if he comes back in. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first question we had was, what are the real differences between the rich and the poor?
I think
kind of. Well, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, rich people. I mean, and I might be stereotyping this a little bit, but obviously, people who are wealthy, who obviously have a lot of money, who are living very luxuriously, who have like, big houses and they wear nice clothes, and the poor are people who also do not have money and who are living in poor conditions.
Mhm.
That's like kind of a generalization, but that's just kind of how I see it.
Okay. Anybody want to add something to that?
Go ahead,
Google
Zion.
says Google says plentiful and abundant. You go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, rich and poor. Rich, I mean, oof. Okay, I don't mean to get cliche here, but if you're talking about a basis on, you ain't gonna get your lights turned off, water turned off, and you can. There's a difference in that. But some people want to get to where like, oh, I'm rich because I spend within my tax bracket. I might live paycheck to paycheck, but I'm okay. I'm not broke. I mean, I have money because clearly my things are on and running. Some people say rich, as in you think of rich, down Hollywood, a house the size of Target and Walmart combined with 3 pools. Some people might think that. Um, so it really, I would say the definition, if you talk about on societal scale, like for example, the United States, we're in a capitalistic society, so which basically means everything's about money. It's the top 1%. Rich, I think rich, depending on where you live, is somewhere about above 50 to 60,000, making that much. That's really the definition of rich in this country, and then poor is below that bracket on a standard scale because the average income for the United States, I believe, is 50,000. Right? Am I wrong? 50, 58, something like that.
Um,
Average
I don't
income.
I'm not gonna act like I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I know for Georgia, I think it's that much. I think it's 50, 50. But I don't know if it's like that for the entire United States. I don't know. But definitely.
Average 63,000. That's the average income in the U.S.
So wow, Georgia's below that. So I mean, yeah, below that is considered to be poor, and above that is considered to be on the wealthier scale. Of course, you have middle class, upper class.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Wait, how about for like today we focus on the rich,
Okay.
and
Like the
the poor.
1%.
So like the billionaires?
So the 1%,
It's
right?
like 1%.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't want to say homeless, but yeah, homeless. Are they poor? No. Right?
I mean, yeah, but I think that there's a lot of people very close to that status, but you never know it. Kind of feel like we already answered the second question, which was like, what is your definition of wealth? Did anybody want to add to that, or?
Well, if we're rich, I don't know if somebody was talking. I apologize. I cut somebody off. But
No,
rich is having an excessive amount of money at a period of time. Wealth is an accumulation of money that doesn't run out. That's not running out anytime soon. That's that money that you look at really like billionaires. You're like, oh, they're wealthy, and then you have people. Let's say, for an example, artists. An artist, I would say they're rich because that richness is temporary unless they move their money and get it when they start getting their money from multiple sources of income.
Right.
Okay.
But that's it.
Well, I just looked up like the definition of wealth on Google, and the definition was an abundance of valuable possessions or money. So, like, wealth to me, I mean, it doesn't always like have to be money. It could be, well, anything that you see as valuable. That's what wealth is to me.
Okay. Our next question, which I thought would take up most of our time, which is, can the rich and the poor have their needs met at the same time?
Wow.
No.
No, I would disagree. No.
No.
Okay.
Wait, you have to give me a situation. You have to. I mean, does anybody
like
have
okay, from a political standpoint, do you think that there is a way for someone to come into like an administration, whether like the presidency or like becoming a governor, and they would be able to properly meet the needs of the rich and the poor in a way that they would need?
Wait, I changed my answer.
Okay. Why?
There could be a situation where everyone's needs can be met.
Mm-hmm.
Like poor people, I guess they can be considered poor because of that wage gap, but they
Mm-hmm.
can live life in a middle class, I guess. Middle class is the answer, right? The poor become middle class, but the divide is still
Like
big
the lower
between them.
class, the middle class.
I mean, everyone has food, shelter, healthcare, a house. I mean, everyone has their basic human needs, and then they have a job for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the perfect situation where they can bridge the gap because money doesn't necessarily make you happy.
Mm.
So I guess that could be the middle ground. No one agree?
Um,
I wouldn't agree that. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know.
I would say it depends because when people say that, like, money doesn't make you happy, it's the root of all evil, stuff like that.
Like
Yeah,
it's true, but it's not true. Like
right.
There,
Let's hit on the stereotypes of being rich and poor.
Hmm.
I feel like that's something we can touch on.
What, the stereotypes?
Yeah, there's different stereotypes. Like rich are crooked, poor people are more truthful and honest. You've never heard that before?
I don't know
I'm
about
just
that.
saying.
yeah,
I never heard that before.
Rich people are crooked? That's the first time?
I've heard that.
I haven't heard that before either.
I've heard
Really?
that.
We saw it in like our TV shows when we were cartoons. What was
Like
Phineas and
greedy?
Ferb?
Yeah,
Most
You
of
mean
them
it's
are
like
like the
like
greedy?
idea that
rich
people that are
scientists
rich don't
or
really
Well,
care for people, care about
I
their
agree in
needs.
a sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
what?
That's a stereotype.
Okay, I have an example. So the restaurant that I work at, it's a new restaurant. You have two owners, one that's a millionaire, and then the other owner has all the recipes, and
Hmm.
he's like a really really good cook. So yeah, there we were getting taxes taken out of our checks, right? You get a W-2 when you get taxes taken out of our check, but because it's hurting, but because there's when you have to pay taxes, businesses tend to have to pay the same amount that you pay. So you don't. So so at the end of the tax season, the taxes that let's say you owe, it will
Mm-hmm.
only be half the amount. The business take care of the rest. So
Yeah.
what the millionaire guy is doing, he's saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna change your tax to a 1099 where we don't take tax out of your money, so we don't have to pay. So I don't have to pay any of my money, for you, for your sake. So when taxes come around, it doesn't matter how much it costs, you have to pay for it.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
that's coming from someone who's wealthy. That's coming from someone who doesn't have any concern. Like they have several businesses, and then yet the little guy, for example, me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I may not be able to afford to pay that, but who knows? We'll see.
Hmm.
Mm,
But that's one example.
Okay. I
okay,
think that is
this is
true.
like
I think so.
wealthy people being more crooked when it comes to like business.
Mhm.
I've always heard of. I'm surprised no one has heard of that.
No,
I mean, it
I've
just
definitely
depends on
heard
the
of that.
person, really,
Yeah.
I mean,
because
I don't believe it. Yeah.
you have some people who don't value money as much. I mean, I don't know, like some people who do. I think the people who tend to live broke are people who don't value the money as much, and they understand that they need to sustain what they've built or sustain what has been built for them for the long run. You know, I think
Yeah.
it's people who value money and get too excited and are on social media posting their racks and buying Bentleys and buying this and that to show off because they don't know what it's like to have it. So they feel like they need to exploit that. Like this needs to be seen. Like I've made it, you know.
Uh,
But it's just
let's
a different perspective.
let's go and say that not spending money is crooked. Because isn't it the point you're supposed to share the wealth, no?
Uh-huh.
Like
Well,
you're supposed to get money and you're supposed to spend it back into the universe, into the world. It's like you receive a gift and then you're giving it to others.
That's an
I'm
opinion.
Yeah.
no, but isn't that how currency works?
I mean, that would be
You talking about
nice.
just
I
like
mean,
oh, money,
stimulating like
money,
the economy?
money. Okay, so I know what you're talking about. It's the basis of the whole idea that money makes the world go round.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
And you're stopping the flow and you have billions, and you're not spending the same amount.
Better
see,
be
you're
mad,
not
Zion.
you're not I'm just saying I'm not mad. I'm just saying the point. Like you're supposed to give as much as you make. Like not all of it. You're supposed to save some.
But isn't that what taxes are for?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what taxes are
but
for, right?
then there's also people that don't pay, and I understand why they don't pay, but still.
Oh, so you're talking about like people like using like loopholes to get out of like paying their fair share. Right?
I mean, I guess it's fair. Loopholes. I don't know. I don't know the legal
Well,
system. What do you guys think?
I mean,
I
I would
don't know.
say,
Like as much as I want to sit up here and like say shame on you,
No, I'm not
like
saying shame on you. I'm just saying it's not fair to look at people who want to spend money on that Bentley. Like live your life. You're doing the right thing for you and for us. You know, you're investing
thank you
back
for
into
saying.
that company. Someone argue with me. You guys don't agree.
I mean, I would say,
Um,
I see where she's. Wait, Mike, you want to go ahead?
you're saying that people should spend money on what makes them happy, basically.
They should.
No, I'm saying they're doing the civil duty
Oh, so
as
you
human
say
beings.
buying Bitlings, regardless of your actual financial status, is a financial duty.
No,
Um,
I'm saying if you got money
mhm,
and I'm saying it's within your limit. I'm not saying if
mhm.
you're making 20,000 a year, you buy a Bentley. I'm saying if you're making like 60,000,
But
no.
how does that
I
help
still
the
would buy a
economy?
Bentley.
How much is a Bentley?
I mean, I would say that. Actually, I'm leaning to Zion. I can see what she means here because, I mean, for example, you look at where we're at right now. I mean, right now we are in a recession because of what Sister
Coronavirus.
Rona is doing. Yeah, Rona, she's upset. So, the country is definitely struggling economically. I mean, you see that, and you see how people are looking to a lot of these CEOs, COOs. Like Jeff Bezos, he made which rubbed people wrong, which really isn't that uncommon, where he was making the workers donate their sick hours, leave time to the employees who were actually sick and not the regular ones. People are like, oh, he's money hungry, car hungry, and they were coming for him. And really, that's a common practice. Like the school I go to, the job that I have there, they require us to do that. So it's more common for one, and then for two, it's like people tend to look to the top people. Like, hey, you kind of need to start investing money to kind of get this economy, try to get these people back where they need to. Which is why if you think that if you make the money that you have, I guess if you're saying that if you're rich, you're the top 1%, that you could just hold on to it, like that's my money, I don't need to do anything. No, there's going to be a drastic effect if you do that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times. I'm sure you guys have seen this where the NBA owners, the NFL owners, they're giving they're paying the wages while they're temporarily out of work right now. Arthur Blank for the Falcons did that today. So it's like you see these types of things happen, how they're looking to the top people to invest in the economy. I mean, to me, that is. I do agree that if you're going to hold on to your money, you're going to do something like that. That is quote unquote, blocking. That's stopping the flow. That's stopping the whole point of this country being built on capitalistic viewpoints.
Mm. I was gonna say people who win the lottery end up going broke in 2 years because like they're not used to having that much money. They think that that they're never gonna run out. Like they go out and they buy and buy. They make all these crazy purchases, and next thing you know, 2 years later they go broke.
Mm.
Because like I just really don't think people, or at least maybe people from my experience, I just don't think they know how to manage their money.
We don't.
We
We
don't.
don't.
I agree.
We don't. We do not. Especially our age. Especially our generation. What are we? Gen? What's the alphabet? A B C D E. I don't know.
We're Gen Z.
That.
I feel like we know more about money than the people that came before us do.
Yeah, I agree.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
feel
so
like
too.
we acknowledge the fact that these are things that we should have been taught. So we know that these are things that we should have been taught, and then there's a group of us that go out and learn it, and then another group of us that just say, "Oh, okay, oh well."
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the generations that came before us didn't really see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even think of that. Well, I'm not going to say they didn't think of that, but the mass majority of them didn't think of that as a whole.
Yeah. Okay.
We have more
But I think,
resources, right?
yeah, we do. Like the internet, you can learn anything on
And you learn
YouTube.
from other people's mistakes. Like it's
Yeah.
cataloged if someone messed up.
Yeah,
And that,
Okay.
my dad, like, he always educates me on like how money works, because like he goes to the bank a lot. Like he always telling me like, okay, like this is how this works, and this is like what I should do. I should save 10% of my income towards my retirement fund
Right.
and all of that. And yeah, I feel more educated about it than actually learning it in school. I learn more in the real world than I do in class.
I
so we're
always said I
saying
did. I always said I did learn more on Twitter than I did in class, but
Yeah.
it's true.
Which
So
actually
we're saying
brings
there's a rich and poor mentality
oh
because of what
yeah,
they
Heck
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Heck yeah.
I think I agree with that.
You ever
yeah.
heard of the book Think and Grow Rich?
Ooh, bringing books
I've
up
heard
now.
that
I don't read books anymore.
Well, yeah, there's a book called Think and Grow Rich. I think that was written by Napoleon Hill or somebody.
Wow.
I didn't read it, but
Yeah.
but my friend
Yeah.
told me about it though, and I feel like rich a lot of times is like a way of thinking, like a mindset, kind of.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
It's a
Way more
mindset.
than
And
just
there's
money.
When I agree with Tyson and say that it's a mindset, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is, freaking like, Frozen, where it's like, if you believe hard enough. No, I'm saying like, like if the mentality, like it's really your mentality, like if you are out here working hard, you're pushing through because you know that that's what you want. Like you're not necessarily chasing the money, but because you work so hard in your passion that you know that the reward's going to come to that, then that's what I call a rich state of mind. Not necessarily financially, but just where you're going. Because you could have a poor state of mind, but all the money in the world. But are you truly rich? Right? So really it's all what's going on up here. It's really all where you're going. So it's like what point is it for you to be rich, but you can't write your own name on a piece of paper? You don't know who the president of the United States is. You don't know how to sharpen a pen. You know what I'm saying? Like what is that to you, but to somebody who is making probably about what we're all making here, about medium wage, slightly above that, at a a smarter mentality, at a better mindset, to be able to think, to be able to know, okay, you know what, I'm going to further my income, or not make these choices. So there is that. So it's not always necessarily financial wealth. It's mental wealth too, where you are and where you're going to go with it.
Yeah, because me personally, I really want to be successful in life, and I feel like for me to achieve that, well, first I have to be rich up here. Like I have to see it in my own mind in order for it to, materialize in the physical world. And what I try to do is I try to, keep myself educated. I try to keep learning. I learn from every experience and all that. And I work my way up. And I just hope that's what gets me to that the rich mindset that I've been working for.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely a mindset. I mean, because like what look at what we were talking about last week, y'all. I mean, we was talking about now. Tyson, granted you weren't here, but we were talking about we were talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at the topic or something. That topic's being thrown at me. I'm sorry. It was talking about slave mentality. You know, like the slave mentality, as in okay, you know what? You keep yourself like, no, I can't do this. I can't get to. You know what I'm saying? That constant like I'm here. You know. And that I feel
Restricting,
like, yeah,
kinda.
it's that restricting. It's that indentured type of, I don't, I need to, that. It's that mentality right there. That's really what's gonna just. That's really what I feel like is the deciding factor on whether you're truly rich or truly poor, not just what your dollar signs have in your Wells Fargo account.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing.
Yeah.
If you guys want to refer to a book, okay, there's this thing. I mean, I read it in class, Twilight of the Idols. It was by Nietzsche, and he talked about poor and rich. I think he didn't talk about their mentality, but he said that poor people they base their decisions more on morality, like on ethics. They believe that because you're poor, let's go back to religion. Like there was this guy, I don't say it right, Jonathan, Cam, help. When they put the money in the pot and the poor person gave everything they had.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh God. You know what I'm talking about? The proverb? Yeah, Tide. The poor person gave everything that they had for themselves. And then the rich people, they brought like these big they would fill these pots with lots of gold. And Jesus, I think, referred it to as the poor person was the one to receive the gifts of heaven, something along those lines.
Cooper, mute her video because you're causing a delay.
Oh.
Cooper, mute her video. Cooper, mute her video. Mute her video. Mute her. You're causing a delay. Mute the video because I know you're watching it. Computer and mute the video.
Oh, that's too funny.
Just go to your computer, X out and mute because you're causing a delay.
No, not.
So, like design, yeah, and the reason why the poor man's offering was knowledge because that's all he gave every single thing he had. That was what was your point?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Can you get louder?
What was your point?
No.
Oh, what was my point?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Who's that?
Oh no.
Oh, the thing, the mentality. You guys were talking about mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way the poor mentality is more based on morality. Our decisions more on getting what we want in the afterlife. No? That's not what poor people
That's
think.
true to an extent.
The rich people are thinking ahead right now. You know? What's better for me right now?
You lost me, but now you have me. I see what you're saying now, and that's actually kind of true.
Sorry.
So you would say like more so like
I left that one up.
Poor, you kind of more content. Am I too loud?
No, he was talking to Cooper.
Yeah, not you. I'm talking to. No, you go ahead. I didn't mean to. I was talking.
Jonathan, I can't hear you. Louder.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should get screwed. Commercial. Now I was saying, I can see how if you're lower of income or poor in your mind, you're like, I have to be content, right? So I guess more ethically.
Somebody give me a rundown what we're talking about here.
Cooper.
Yeah, we're gonna give it to you in one
Satisfied
second.
with you.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
one
Yeah, I
sec.
spent a whole
Hold
hour
on.
trying to do that. Hey, Michael. How's it going, bud?
What's up, Skip? Jonathan, were you done or were you?
Yeah, I'm done.
No. Jonathan, one more time, please.
I can't stand Jonathan.
I don't know what I can say again. I don't know what I said.
Jonathan, your audio is a little weird. Can
My
you
audio
guys
is
hear him? It's just me.
Yeah, it was weird before, but I think it's better now.
my phone.
Yeah, someone help Fruit.
You want? Do you have any headphones? You probably want to put in like with the mic, and
Yeah.
that. That'll probably be better to hear.
Yeah,
Broadcast.
I don't have any. Sorry.
Can y'all hear me?
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, we can hear you.
can
Skip.
hear
Yeah,
you, Skip.
Fruit.
Okay, cool.
Here.
Yeah. Good. That's awesome, bro. Anyway. So what was the question again?
I just sent you I sent you the questions.
Yeah,
the
so
online.
if you look at the bottom of the screen, Cooper is right there. Rich
Good
people stay
job.
rich by living like they're broke. Broke people stay broke by living like they're rich. What are the thoughts? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my
And right
God.
now we're on the mentality.
I mean, if you ask me, I will kind of, well, I don't 100% agree with that, but I do somewhat agree with that though. Because in order to kind of, I feel like just have money, you do just somewhat got to be conservative with it. So, but I mean, but broke people stay broke by living like they are rich. I guess that makes sense. But then again, like it's kind of funny. Like I'm flat broke, but I'm sure as hell ain't rich. So I don't know. You know.
Oh, something I forgot to say when I was talking about mentality was that I believe that you really have to see in your mind before it materializes on the outside. And so I feel like, or maybe some rich people that we learned like in history, I think they had like the mindset first, and then with all the money they had, I think that was like the material on the outside. So that's why I believe strongly that rich is more than just money; it's also a mentality.
I agree with Tyson 100% on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our last question. Let me
Dang it.
look at it again. I wanted to talk about the differences like generationally. And my question was, how can the new
Wait,
generation?
before you go to the next question, I want to touch on what Tyson said. So you say it's like the idea, or wait, can you come again? What you said, the thought.
Well, yes, the thought.
They're able to manifest things, right? They're able to dream big, right?
Yes.
They're allowed to.
Well,
I'm gonna
I feel
defend
like-
the poor, okay? Yeah.
All right, so I read this in this book called, a couple books actually. One's called Working with the Law by Raymond Hollowell, and the other called The Secret, written by Rhonda Byrne. And so the idea is called the law of attraction. And basically what that is that whatever you think, believe, and feel, you attract. So any good energy, good thoughts, and all of that, that's what you attract to you. And I feel like for at least a lot of rich people, like in their beginning, because as you see today, you see like a lot of rich, was inherited. But I think before, they attracted wealth to them by having a strong mindset. They thought wealth, they believed it was going to come to them, and as a result, to them. They saw it in the invisible, and therefore it became visible.
And it's because I think it's also with that, their ability to think ahead, we also have to, I think, I'm learning more and more that we're programmed by what we're surrounded by. You agree with that?
That's very true.
To a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
And
I do.
Yeah.
And if we're surrounded by this mean or like this pathology of taking care of others, doing what we're told lives before you have lived, but moving ahead little by little, right? How we stay stagnant in our beliefs. And it's not really our fault. We can manifest things, but it's most of the things that we're given is through progression and the people behind us. Because let's say, for example, Jeff Bezos or
CEO of Amazon,
Bill Gates,
Microsoft,
guy from Apple,
Steve Jobs.
he passed away.
Steve
Yeah,
Jobs.
Steve Jobs. I'm sorry. These people, they just didn't come up from out of nowhere. They came from something. Believe it or not, both of them, all three of them went to Harvard, right? At some point. They were surrounded.
Jeff Bezos went to Princeton, but he did go to an Ivy League school.
Yeah, they were surrounded by people or innovators who had different means and different resources. So this idea of you can manifest whatever you want, you also have to be in the perfect soil to manifest these things. The seed must be planted in somewhere good. And not everyone has the means to make that something good.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Good stuff, guys.
But I do agree with the law of attraction. I think there's just a combination of things.
So
hmm
if y'all don't mind me asking,
Well, like,
go ahead, Tyson. Sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, in the second chapter of the book,
Mhm.
talked about like law of supply, just like how man is given the resources to like create something. Like Jeff Bezos, like he grew up, with learning about like technology and how it works, and I feel like because of like his knowledge of that was how he was able to create Amazon. Same with
Wow.
with Steve Jobs and Apple. Like
So
I feel like
this is where you get the basis, the argument from that it's which is what we're saying. It's the mentality behind rather than just what you have. It's just what your mindset is, where you envision yourself, where you envision where you're going. Right. Okay.
and if you believe it, then you'll achieve it.
Okay.
That's, I mean, I live by that.
I agree.
Because for myself.
Yeah.
I do agree. I do agree with that.
So
Go ahead.
we're talking about mindsets, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, Tyson, I would agree. I would agree because you just gotta have like a solid and strong mindset in order to like accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. I mean, because honestly, people like that you see like like the Home Depot, Arthur Blank, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Donald Trump. I mean, like most of your billionaires, they have to have like a very strong mindset to like achieve those type of goals. But
Yeah.
I mean, then again, like I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like to me, it's kind of funny how it works. So, like a lot of people just dream of, starting a business, because I got friends that kind of create their own clothing line, but it's still just not just gonna happen for everybody like that though.
Disagreement.
Someone
So
said
there's a comment. Yeah, there's a comment in here saying objection.
Who?
Yes. Trump
Elaborate.
is already rich.
Yeah,
Woo,
that's true.
sorry for leaving. My phone died.
You're okay.
You good.
Trump is
Two,
already rich, is what someone
Objection?
say.
before we get kicked off, I was thinking like at the end of the day, the reason why
Trump was already.
there's such a huge contrast in broke, the term broke, and then rich. I mean, our country, America, was built off the backs of the people who were taken advantage of. Who like I said,
So,
they didn't have the
and so sorry to interrupt you, Jonathan. But I don't know if you guys can see the comments like I can. So,
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, so this is what I wanted to kind of get on, Jonathan. I'm sorry, I just want to say this real quick. So it says that some of them cheat their ways to get to the top, undercut people to get to the top, like Donald Trump. And Jeff Bezos is no different. I just want to put that in there. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh my bad. I probably missed him. But no, I was just saying like it's gonna take a time, like some time for that. The one, the I don't know who said it, but uh, the opinion as far as like the mentality, you having to have a rich mindset to understand, what moves to make in order to gain wealth and whatnot. I'm saying like it's gonna take time for a generation wise for us to come to equal like a leveling of that.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Because we're still
Yeah, that
recovery, right?
actually brings me to my next question. But you
Mhm.
can go ahead.
So,
I don't want to cut you off.
no, you're good. I'm done.
Our next question, our last question was, how can the new generation correct the wrongs or mistakes done from previous generations when it comes to the situation between the wealthy, and the people who are less fortunate,
I would say like
the
hang
Um,
on.
rich and the poor?
I would say in that I mean,
Because go ahead,
this
Coop.
is all about like your mindset. It's just really about your mindset. Like we was talking about the other night about like how the coronavirus and stuff like that is causing like the stocks and stuff like that to drop really low. Like I'm already invested to the stock market, so it's just really about your mindset. Because I mean, because
Mhm,
like I'm being honest, like in high school, like a lot of people
mhm,
they was like the only thing they could think of is just like shoes, like clothes,
mhm.
jewelry. That's all what people like our generation kind of think about, which I see every day, like in our younger, younger
So,
siblings. So,
so,
go
so
ahead.
there's another comment. There's another comment here. Sorry, Cooper. There's another comment here saying, not to mention that the business world is so corrupt that to the point that no one polices them in the horrible stuff they do. By identifying the corruption within the systems we have established and correcting said corruption. Excuse me.
Yeah, so that like brings me to the question of, we talked about mentality and about how you have to have this strong mindset to, be successful. But where do
Mm,
ethics come in from that,
mm,
in morality? Because what some of the comments are saying is very true. That a lot of people who are rich don't also just have this strong mindset. A lot of people who are rich, they cheat a lot of people, and a lot of people have empires built on the blood, sweat, and tears of the less fortunate.
That
mm.
is
So as like a
true.
generation, how do we? I don't know. I think it's very we're looking at it from a very like, not
So,
basic, but very like face value standpoint, to say, you just have to have like determination,
so,
because
so there's another yeah, because there's another comment said that when you hurt others, it becomes ethical. So it's that moment when you hurt a person or put another person down, and that's when it will get to that. What the comment said.
okay. So my question to you guys is, that something like that's escapable? Do you think that that's something that you can avoid in the like road to being
You can't avoid
successful,
it.
on the road to being rich or wealthy?
Yeah, of course.
That's my question. Okay,
Yeah.
what would that
Mm,
look like?
that's interesting because that's kind of hard. Like to that's really. I mean, you can build let's say a business and you do it the right way. Like you try to be nice to others, but there's always people who try to
Hmm.
take advantage of you. So you kind of have to
Yeah,
overcompensate.
that's what I
You know
was
what I mean?
thinking.
To
Yeah.
Hmm.
make sure you get it. Because let's say, like I work at a startup business, but you have people who come up there and complain about our prices when the prices are actually affordable compared to everyone else. But they're like, well, but we want it cheaper. And I'm like, well, we have to make money, or we won't be here for you to come get stuff. Like what do sometimes it's like a win-win situation. Um, ethics, it's a choice. I think like in my mindset, if you know that you can do better, that you'll make money and still do people right. That's one side of it. And some people don't care about other people. You know, they're like, cool. I mean, yeah, I could shoot you right and still make the same money, but why not when I could, you know, I don't know. It's like two sides to that.
Mm.
A double-edged sword.
Oh, I learned this in my principles of management class, my sophomore year college. We talked about leadership, and leaders have one of two approaches when it comes to leading. One is people oriented, and the second is task oriented. So people oriented, they obviously they consider, opinions of others, of the workers, and task oriented leaders are the ones who only care about, when the job is done. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, I mean, I haven't done like a whole lot of research on like Bezos or Steve Jobs and how like they ran their companies, but I do know like the right way, like to know like when you need to use one of those two. It just depends on like the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
Okay. So like basing it on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add something? Anybody watching want to add something?
So
I want to add one more thing. Profit. Does the base or the idea of profit, is that the problem? Does that make sense? Like
repeat that?
making profit off of something is why things can never be equal. No?
No, I mean,
Okay, wait.
Give me an
Tricky.
example.
Tricky.
Okay,
that's
so
confusing. That's confusing.
let's say it costs 10 cents, 10 cents to make this loaf of bread, but you're charging 50 cents. Isn't on the
Well, honey, you're
basis of
breaking up.
morality,
You're breaking up a little bit.
equality, and making money above. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, but you got to make a profit though in order to make money, though.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying the idea of profit is why it will be unequal forever.
That's what many people are kind of saying about capitalism, really like the system that our country's in. Because like, I mean, I feel like profit really is just kind of like a cherry on top for businesses. Like, because like the goal, I mean, it's just because like, obviously, yes, the goal of business is like really to make money, but in terms of like making things unequal, I mean, I don't know. I guess it just depends.
Yeah.
I mean, you're providing a resource. If you're talking about business who are making a profit off of something, they're providing a resource that obviously has a place in the market. So I mean, you really can't be mad at people who take advantage of a product that's needed or that's wanted. You know, we have a choice as consumers whether we want to buy. So you really can't put the blame on, I guess, capitalism all the way. We just have a system that once you get rich, it's easy to stay rich. Of course, if you know the right people and you continue to feed off people that, let's say, if I someone a business that wants your product. I mean, you can't do anything about it. It's always gonna have someone above and always below you. Everybody can't be poor. Everybody can't be rich. I don't think it's gonna work like that ever.
Just be an oppressor and the oppressed. And I agree with one
Okay,
shot.
I have a question about
There's a
that.
comment that says there was two. The one that said you can't make things so expensive that every large purchase is generally always taken on a line of credit. That's why profit becomes evil. Then there's another one that said that our system is broken right now because profit is what most businesses care about. They outsource jobs, lay off workers, and invest in loopholes that allow them to make more money than they need.
Oh, I was gonna say like, well, no company wants to break even.
You're right.
Like literally no company at all, because like you got investors. Obviously, you have, I mean, things you want to spend money on, like to make the work conditions better and all of that. And being in a money-driven society, I mean, profit is really all you care about. So I can definitely see how. So I can definitely see what that person is saying.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to. I agree. Profit is good. Like one kill shot say, it's a good incentive. But if we're talking about being equal, it's unfair.
So it says that one person said no business should break even, and made millions of dollars in rebate taxes. So I'll say this: comparing to what's going on right now with the Corona situation, right? I mean, you're looking at kind of like how, like, because that's where the whole conversation comes with these businesses is seeing like how since the economy is struggling, like I know how people are coming for the airlines because airline companies are asking the government like we need billions of more dollars because no one's coming to fly the airlines because everyone's afraid of the virus, right? And that
Yeah.
they're dumping money into something like that, but they're not dumping money into, say, the actual workers, like the people who are getting laid off, like not Macy's, excuse me. I believe the Cheesecake Factory was laying some folks off.
Yeah, a lot of servers have been laid off.
Yeah, a lot of
Because
The
they don't know
servers,
restaurants,
when
yeah.
like the
they don't know when
hotel,
this is gonna blow
the
over.
Marriott. They were laying people off at the Marriott because no one was staying in hotels because of the virus.
Yeah, and I mean even people that aren't getting laid off, some people their jobs are shutting down and they're not being paid until this blows over. Like I know I work at the aquarium and like
Southwest.
the
I'm
vendor.
sorry. Someone commented. Yeah, Southwest Airlines and Walmart. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I work for a vendor at the aquarium, and since we're shut down, like nobody's making any money
Oh my
until
goodness.
you go back to work. So like all those people, it's not really that big of a deal for me because of where I'm at in my life. But when you think about like supervisors that are like adults that like live off of live off this, like they have kids, like they're not making any money until all this
Yeah.
blows over.
It says that
True.
someone said Kroger is hiring new workers. Yeah, I did see a post on there that Kroger was hiring about 100,000 new people. But the grocery store system is booming right now. So like what Mike was saying, though,
Oh
he's at the
yeah.
aquarium. Because I think what's her name? Keisha Lance Bottoms, right? She
Mm.
wrote the bill where the city will shut down at I think at 9 o'clock or something like that. There's a curfew
Yeah,
there
there's a curfew here. It's either 9 or 10. It's like 9 to 7 or 10 to 7. I know that's what South Fulton is.
for South Fulton and is it for downtown Atlanta too?
Uh, maybe, probably, yeah, more than
Okay,
likely.
okay, yeah, and it's like with specific situations like that, it's like it's tough because it's like I didn't know that the aquarium. I really didn't even know that they were getting hit that hard. But I knew like a lot of the smaller businesses, like the little shops and stuff, that are in the areas that aren't making money, that aren't like how are they supposed to thrive? Like where would the money come from? Knowing that we really was just predicting that the U.S. government isn't ready from it. Like they're not prepared. They're not necessarily like established to really get people what they need for that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it's
Well, I
like
mean, they have like sent a stimulus package. I want to say they sent it to the Senate. I don't know. I haven't heard anything else about it, but I know that's something that they started. And I
really.
know that was supposed to give like all adults like $1,000 per household,
Really?
2,000. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but it's
I think
nothing.
so.
It's nothing set in stone.
$1,000 per household and
Yeah,
If you have
500 for every child. Yeah.
Is,
yeah.
is it really?
It's either $1,000 per household or $1,000 per adult, working adult in the household, and like Zion said, 500 for a child per child in the household.
But you know what the problem with that is?
What's that?
Um, I was reading in, I think it was in my microeconomics book. You know, the problem with that is, I wish I could pull up my textbook, but in times like this, even when the government gives us money, most times people will tend to save it. Like, we don't know how
True.
bad else is going to. We're not going to put money back in the economy. We're going to keep it in our pockets. Thank you.
So
You
there's a
That's
know.
true. I see
so
that
here's
happening,
sorry, here's a
especially if
clarification.
we. Go
Here's a
ahead.
clarification in the comment. This is what makes it. This is what how I can understand. Sadia Muhammad said $1,000 for adults, $500 per kid per kids. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. Is it per kid? $500 per kid? And then this is also depends on your family income. So not everybody's getting 1,000. I didn't know it was $500 per kid. I didn't know they were doing that.
Have some kids.
Well, yeah, somebody say, "Oh, I need to have some kids."
But
Um,
I also heard that okay, so like I said, I work at Stonecrest Mall. And Stonecrest Mall is I guess the biggest mall on the east side, I would say. Possibly. I can't remember. I don't think there's any other. And they haven't shut us down yet for the fact that they're like, you're gonna be fine. We're gonna let us blow over. The government. And the reason why they won't shut down because they're like the government is gonna give all small businesses a I think it's like a either 30,000 or some type of uh I guess loan, like a grant or something.
Yeah.
mhm.
And one of the owners, the millionaire, he was like, "Well, I'm not accepting that. Any money from the government is going to have to be paid back." So I wonder is that included in this $1,000 and $100 everybody's going to get? Because think about it, once the economy is booming back, I wonder, is this like free money, or is this money that's going to be
Ooh.
added on to taxes?
Wow. Yeah.
They're gonna want that money back. That's a lot of money.
And that's another
Have that.
interesting thing. It's like
I
where.
don't know. I feel like
Yeah. Go ahead.
they're giving us this money so that the economy won't crash, though. So it's not something. It's a necessity. So I wouldn't see them looking at it as a loan. But what do I know?
I
I don't know.
mean,
Um,
I don't
Somebody
know.
said it's free. It should be free. That's how I'm thinking about it because
yeah.
Well, I mean, when I find
when
out,
it
I'll let
came
y'all
out.
know because I'll know firsthand.
I mean, do you guys think that it was appropriate for them to be like for them to basically for them to do what they're doing right now? Like, for example, you know how some people are saying like, oh, the government basically that the government's just going to be like funding it. Like this is fine. Like life as it is. Everybody isolated. That no one like the kids are in school that because some jobs are providing them health like free childcare and stuff like that, watching the kids, and then they're getting money from the government. And
Mhm.
what's I going to say? It's not like we don't have money to invest in the people with how much we spend on the military and how much in taxpayer dollars go back to business. It should be free. There's no excuse. Hmm.
I agree with you.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay.
What were you saying, Kim?
No, I was saying like some people think that this is fine for where we're at. Like basically saying like the government is just funding the money in, which is by the way, people are not understanding where it's coming from, where this was right, and that some jobs in some areas are providing free childcare and understanding that basically the government's taking care of them. But my thing is that I would disagree that it's not that they're still going to be laying people off. That still airlines are demanding like what is it, a couple $1 billion, right? Something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, because a lot of those places, dang near like are getting ready to probably file for bankruptcy.
Jeez. Mm.
Yeah, like them airlines, like they're really taking some big hits right now. Because my mom, she's
Yeah.
a flight attendant. She was saying like on like the last flight, it was only probably no more than just like 15 people on the whole entire plane,
Yeah.
and the airport's
And I
open back
mean,
up.
those flights are like dirt cheap.
Yeah, they're
I
like
can go
it
to
was $38
Miami
to
right
go to
now for
Orlando.
Oh yeah.
$43
Hey,
for a
$100 just to
round
fly
trip.
somewhere round trip. I'll take that
Yeah.
any day.
Well, $100 could get you two places round trip. You can go to Miami
For one second.
and Las Vegas for $100. To be honest, you can go to Miami, Las Vegas, and Cali for $100 right now
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Trey Young and
for like
Trey Young.
120.
Bro, this man said I look like Trae Young all the time, bro. Be killing me with it. Look at the
So,
white
does
stuff.
anybody know how long the coronavirus takes to get through the system?
2 weeks.
You talking about the incubation period?
That
2 weeks is
incubation, not how long it might actually sit in your system. It could be dormant for 2 weeks.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
think it said it take 2 weeks for like the symptoms to show.
For it to actually
And then,
activate and be known, I think.
so within
Yeah.
that time period, you can give it to others, or is it 2 weeks incubation plus the
I
time it
don't know
takes?
if it's contagious before it's active like that. I'm not sure.
Well, you know what's interesting? Here's what I think.
14 days. 14 days is in the comments.
So you know how when they gave us the 2 weeks out of school,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then said, you know what, indefinitely online school, right?
Yeah.
I get the same vibes from this whole. I've been hearing rumors about a Stanford Act, and the Stanford Act is basically a 2-week quarantine, enforced by the National Guard and the police force. And
Mm-hmm.
I've heard, I could be wrong, and I've heard from 2 different sources, like the older people, people who work in government,
Mm-hmm.
saying that they're just waiting for a time they're just waiting to mobilize, and they will enact it. But now I could be wrong, but it seems like this whole, if even if it was a 2-week quarantine, I feel like it's going to be longer than this.
Oh God.
It's gonna be some martial law, dog.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and that's
Wait,
what
what's
I've
are
heard
we?
right there. I think, huh?
Zion.
What'd you say, Zion? Were you
Oh,
saying something, Zion?
no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Go ahead, Ken.
No, I was gonna wonder because I know that probably the conversation's kind of gone a little bit more to the virus because I don't understand how we can't not focus on because where the economy is right now and what really is going on right now as we speak is history, witnessing history right now, right? So
It is.
I mean no, like really this is really history. Like this is they're saying that this is worse than the Great Depression, and you saw how that was in the history books and everything. Um, but to see, like, I've heard people say that they're trying to enforce things like martial law and stuff like that. Now they won't bring that back, but I've seen it and I saw it misspelled on Twitter. Martial, like MARSHALL law. About saying that the government's going to force us, going to do this, really strip rights away just to protect and condone people. But it's like, you know, it's like to see. It's
Yeah.
for me. It's just an experience to see how
The
it's
state
just
could use what do you call it? The state could use the National Guard
yeah. I mean,
and
really, not even
and
how they.
it's not illegal for them to deploy. Like they can deploy the National Guard when they feel like it.
Yeah, yeah, and to me, it's not even really that. It's just the fact that to see how what we're taught, the greatest country in the world, fall to its knees right now because we're literally struggling. Okay, we're struggling to the point where they're saying that we're running out of the test kits, or we're borrowing them from different countries and
Oh,
stuff
bro,
like
did you
that.
see? There's a new statistic for Georgia. They tested 2,000 people, and out of those 2,000, they had 420 of them had corona.
Mm.
That's one in five, basically. That's pretty bad.
Oh yeah, there's like 250 cases in the state of Georgia.
I
No,
Or no,
think
it's
so.
more.
250 deaths. Never
Trey,
mind.
Trey, let me
Uh,
Trey, let me sub you out with Kyle real quick.
Okay.
Kyle's
Where did
coming.
Jonathan go?
Jonathan fell off.
Yeah.
His phone must have died. Thank you, Sadia.
Yeah. Shout out to Sadia.
So Kyle Cooper, y'all gonna say something or?
Hello. Oh, thanks. It kicked me out for a while.
Welcome.
But I would say, but yeah, now's legit a good time.
Did you just cough, Kyle?
You said what?
14 deaths. Wow.
I mean, let me ask you this though: how long do y'all really think this coronavirus shutdown thing might last? Because they were talking about
Till
they might
August.
do a shutdown everything this week. Till August?
I think they want to wait until did you guys hear about flattening the curve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're planning for all of us to get infected, but to get treated at a different time.
Mm.
So until every one of us gets sick. but we have enough people or enough resources to get better.
Oh, jeez.
Wait a minute. So they pretty
I
much
think that's.
want. You're saying like they kind of want everybody to get infected.
I mean, everyone will eventually get affected. That's infected, I think, but they're trying to
I'm not getting
stop
infected.
all of it.
Spread.
Not Skip.
Not the spread, but it's gonna
Skip.
spread inevitably.
Like out of control, kind of.
Yeah, they can't control it. I mean, if we can
Probably.
see in Italy and China, there's no way to control it yet.
And it's so unfortunate. Okay? So someone said United Airlines laid off 2 out of 3 of their workforce. Oh my God, California is on complete shutdown. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are. Oh, my brother's back in town, by the way.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thankfully.
With my job,
definitely.
our
Huh?
contract. In my job, they're canceling a contract and they're making us work for Sam's Club, not paying us Sam's Club wage. So basically, they're getting cheap labor.
And U-Haul isn't closing down. Not that I know of.
And they think they're
So,
doing it
I
to
mean, they're
fix.
gonna stick it out till they can't stick it out no more.
Hold on, Skip. Let me sub John in, okay? Morning, John. How you doing? Did Mike fall off? Mike fell off? Yeah, he did. It's okay.
What do you
No, he didn't. Did he? He did.
He did.
There he is. Mike. Okay. Let's see if he gets back in. Cooper, you're back in now until Mike comes in. What's up?
Anyway,
Cobb County has a 9 p.m. curfew. Wow. So they must have just did that. Delta has 90,000 employees, and if they lay off 2 out of 3, that's going to be about 60,000. And Delta is heavily supplies the economy for Atlanta, for our area. I mean, because that's one of the most highest gross jobs in Atlanta. It's Delta.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for
Busiest
them to
airport
lay
in the
out,
world.
for them to lay out 2 or 3, and for Cobb County, for one county in Georgia is on shutdown, and Cobb County to have a 9 p.m. curfew is unbelievable. Wow.
Why? Why is it unbelievable?
Because I don't ever remember anything like that happening in our area where we have a curfew. Except that one time when Skip went rabid, but other than that, it was like usually
Come on, give me a
for us
break.
to have a curfew is crazy. You feel me?
Wait a minute. We got a curfew now?
No, Cobb County.
Oh, I was going to say they're gonna start wiping our butts after a certain time. Shut up, Kenny.
Who let you out of the cage? So I mean, it's like if Cobb County has a curfew and South Fulton has a curfew, these are geographically speaking. These are areas surrounding our area, Douglas County, and it's like you guys are over there, east side of Atlanta. It's like this is gonna be starting. This might because some states I know, Sadir, you might correct me on this, but to see Georgia or excuse me, California to be on the shutdown thing, and then to see was it Illinois or Ohio followed? What was it? I don't know if you guys know. Was it another state followed the shutdown? I don't know which state it was.
I have no clue.
Oh, New
Another
York.
state.
No?
The state of New York or was the city?
New York.
I think
Another,
New York got the most cases though.
New York has the most cases, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was getting infected in New York.
Hope they are okay.
Yeah, if Georgia were to follow this the shutdown period, I mean, really not focusing on that. My thing is this. This is what's really concerning me. It's the people who continue to have their spring break, right? Yeah, Georgia is next. City of New York, okay. So
Wait, Georgia's next for the shutdown?
that's what Sadia is saying. I believe it. I mean, if the states are following it and it's starting to fall like a domino effect, I'm sure Georgia's going to be up next. Yeah, Georgia is a big state. But my thing is really pissing me off is that there was this news video thing I saw on Twitter CBS News, and they're going around on the spring break time in Miami, asking people our age, 21, 22, 2019, kind of like, what are you guys doing here? The CDC, the government's asking everybody social distancing, no more than 10 people at a time in the area, yada, yada, yada. Why are y'all continuing to flock the beaches and get drunk and party in the street and stuff? And they're just like, well, it's YOLO, you live once, I'll pay for my spring break. I'm like, but it's like you get sick in the air. I mean, yeah, okay, all the beaches in Georgia are closed. But it's like you get sick because the Florida cases have gone up exponentially. It's gone up significantly. And what they're doing is that it's like those areas are breeding grounds for the virus, and then they're bringing those back to not only the locals there, but when they fly back, when they go back to say, a lot of them are coming from Atlanta. When they come back to Atlanta, they're going to be spreading it back to parents, grandparents,
And
people
older people. Yeah.
people over here. Because I know one of my other friends, knew someone who has some friends who went down to Miami and down in that area down there, and I'm just like, you don't realize what you're doing is you're making it worse. Like we're complaining about not wanting to be quarantined and all this stuff, but then you're flocking to areas like this, going to parties, and these breeding grounds for the virus, these types of areas here, and then to fly back to where you're going to, and it goes back. Florida shut down the beach in Disneyland. I don't know if the whole state of Florida shut down the beaches because people were still there on the beach, still going, still like nothing's happening. They're just like, oh, well, we saved up so long and the flights were cheap, we got tempted. And you see this constant problem even looking at the airline because the airlines, like you guys saw Delta, I saw a Frontier flight for $18. There's Uber more expensive than that. Yeah.
I'm about to leave. You told me right there.
Yeah. You see, it's not like that, where because I even got to I was gonna go see my granddad, but I was like, wait a minute, but to see like the cheapness and because the airlines they're going bankrupt, they need money, so they're still because I'm still looking at ads on Twitter and Instagram like Southwest here $49, $30, $20, we're gonna take them. All right.
Don't say that.
I ain't even gonna lie. Like last week, I already had said, look, if they give us a second week, I'm about to go on a road trip. But
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But see, I was gonna go to the mountains. I was gonna go where people aren't going.
Oh, everyone's probably going
Wait,
to
to
the
like
mountains.
isolate yourself?
Huh?
Like you talking about like isolating yourself?
No, vacation, boy. Vacation. Nah, but I really did consider it. But I just don't know where I stand because I see the seriousness of it. And maybe because we really sit down, I'm like, but maybe.
You said you see the seriousness of it?
I mean, I understand. I'm like,
And the thing is, I feel like how people advertise things.
yeah.
Yeah, they didn't advertise this coronavirus correctly. They kept on saying it affected the old, and I feel like, especially when it comes to viruses or anything that's affecting a large population, you have to make sure to instill, that ability to say, hey, this is more than just you. This is the people. And what Donald Trump is doing right now is he's saying war. He's saying the word war when he's referring to like this epidemic or this pandemic.
Yeah.
What do you guys
he
feel
calls
about
it the
that?
Chinese virus.
Yeah. What do you guys feel?
What do you guys think about that? Yeah.
I mean,
He's
I'm not gonna
branding
sit
it.
here, I'm not gonna call names, but I feel like people just already know just how that is. I mean, the Chinese virus, whatever. It's a virus. Who cares?
No, but he's doing something really dangerous with it, or really good. Depends on where you're from.
I mean, but everybody was saying that it's like so many different compilations. Some people was like, it was put out here for a reason because there was like a lot of these like big time people like are stepping down from like their roles and stuff like that. They believe like it's gonna be like an alien visit or something like that. They want the streets clear. It's like I've heard like so much stuff regarding this. So it's like I don't know. I mean, it could just be just like a virus that's spreading around, or it could just legit just be something major really floating around that's gonna happen. But who knows?
Mm.
No,
It
I
could
think
be a Pookie there.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see what Zion's saying. I mean, it definitely is very, very extremely dangerous that they're calling it, that he keeps calling it the Chinese virus. He doesn't realize what he's doing right when you say that because it does, it brands ignorance. Yeah, China doesn't have any more, China doesn't no more cases coming from the virus. Yeah. I think China's gotten it under control. I think they're starting to get back to their regular daily lives.
mhm,
Um, to say that I don't know this, I could be wrong. From what the media has portrayed it to be, the virus had came from or originated from China. They
Wuhan, China.
Wuhan, China. So that could be false. I mean, it could have been all the way around, but then it just it bred out of control over there, and then
mhm,
came to the rest of the countries in North America. Also, with the media and the United States has also been saying that it stemmed from a man that was eating or a woman, a man or a woman who was eating a bat raw and
mhm.
got sick with the virus, and then it. I don't know if that's factual either. That might be ignorant branding. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
but
but I mean, like
oh,
you see this like how all these different stigmatations of it just come about, and it's just like people put all this stuff out there, and like if you ask me, it just sounds ridiculous. It's a
doesn't though?
virus. Yeah, I mean,
Because
you're eating. I mean, it goes from eating a bat to the Chinese virus. No disrespect to a guy farted in Publix and it spread it around. I mean, I don't know. It's just always something with it.
no, I think it's fear mongering.
Fear mongering.
What does
Yeah,
that
I
mean?
feel like they're trying to scare people to get them to do a cause, which is good. Do you guys follow me? Like
No.
scaring people can really. I wish Manasseh was here. He would say the greatest thing or the scariest thing is fear. You don't trust someone. That Tupac quote. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Okay, I see where you're going.
Okay. So my original thing is branding coronavirus as something to fear is something that I feel like there was a disconnect when it came to advertising it, I guess, because in the beginning, most people in the news they they reported on it, but people didn't believe them because they distrusted the news. And then it comes to Donald Trump, who originally, kind of laughed at the coronavirus. So you look at those little instances where people didn't take it seriously, and now we're transitioning into a state where we're actually calling it a threat, something that we use a military force for. We're calling it the unseen enemy. We're using words like war, and we're putting like a face on the virus. We're putting Chinese as the face of the virus. So now we're
Yeah,
collecting people. Do you feel
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I think that branding really helps when it comes to quote unquote fighting the virus? No?
No, I agree.
No?
I think it does. I agree. I think it does.
So, and
Or
by
you
the way,
disagree?
uh, the Chinese started the rumor first. It was a response to one of the officials, the Chinese officials, who said the coronavirus came from the U.S. military.
Oh, I did. I heard about that. I heard about
Mm.
that report saying that it didn't spread for some reason. It didn't spread or didn't do enough damage in China that the United States intentionally spread it over there.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
a Chinese I forgot leader.
What are like I guess the media out there?
No, for real, they tweeted it out.
I didn't know if they tweeted it, but I remember reading something about it, like a rumor or something, by saying that yeah, that the U.S. military was the sole reason why it got out of control, especially in China. And of course, you had some people saying that they're doing it for population control and all that other stuff.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this article is saying China is pushing a new theory about the origins of the coronavirus. It is an American disease introduced by the members of the United States Army who visited Wuhan in October.
Mm.
But it's recirculated, and it's fueling instincts of officials on both sides. It came from this guy named Zhao Lijian, a ministry spokesman who has made good use of the platform, which is blocked in China, to push a newly aggressive and hawkish diplomatic strategy.
Wow.
And this guy said it's most likely to intend to deflect attention from China's own missteps in the early weeks of the epidemic. This is from the New York Times.
Wow. But do you guys believe that they did that? Do you guys think the United States did that? Because the United States and China have constantly been at each other's,
Throats.
No. Well, I mean, but it's just kind of like I was saying. It's like at this point, you just kind of don't know what to believe. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and argue like, oh, like that's rubbish, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. I don't know. I mean, but then again, like it's like how do we ever just gonna know the truth? So,
Oh. This isn't the first time though that they used this. No, not American.
But they were. But you gotta think about it. They were saying stuff like that, even like with HIV. Like it was a government-made disease. It was put out there just to kill, like, people. So I mean,
yeah,
we'll just never really know.
No, the reason what you just said. Did you said HIV, right?
Mm-hmm.
The theory that the United States created HIV came from Russia?
Really?
Yeah, it's proven now. Russia has been Russia created like this program back in the not old days. It was probably like recent. But they created this CIA-esque kind of military where they would literally plug news stories into other countries, like in Saudi Arabia or in Iran or countries that they could infiltrate in, and then they used this. It was under this name called misinformation, and basically the theory that the United States created the HIV virus became like a household phenomenon. Like everyone knows about it,
Mm-hmm.
So this lie was created by Russia to help debrand or brand Russia. In US's name. So this is not the first time.
Wow. I do remember hearing something about why it was created.
Say what?
No, go ahead.
No. I wanted to hear. I couldn't hear.
No, I was just saying. I was just agreeing with you. Like, yeah, I have heard that
You said
before.
what?
Like,
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I have heard that before. Where they said the government did create it.
Yeah. And that's why people are saying now in Russia, the presidential election, Facebook, the whole thing. Russia is far ahead because they created the system way before Facebook. This idea of putting wrong information into other people's hands,
So, and then it goes back to, like, for example, it goes well back before, like, do you definitely think that some of these, like, do you think it's usually like a coincidence that a lot of these pandemics or whatever is going on are tend to happen like before elections, or around elections?
No, I disagree.
I mean, I just think it just happened to have happened around 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, because think about even like when when Obama was getting ready to be in office, we didn't have stuff like this, like a virus outbreak or something.
Ebola.
Huh.
Okay, but that didn't last like long though.
It didn't, but it was like a panic kind of thing. Remember?
Not for
It
Obama.
wasn't. It
Ebola
was. It
is
was. I mean,
scary.
Ebola was scary, but it was not on this level of like what's going on
Well,
now.
very
But it was
scary.
definitely a.
It didn't cause this much hysteria.
No,
Oh yeah,
the
it still is. It still is, but I'm really talking about like for the United
no.
States. You said, huh?
I'd say Ebola is still very much scary. It's just that we didn't see as much of it in the United States, like you said.
Yeah.
But Ebola is a scary virus.
Yeah.
Like people bleed out of their eyes, and it's like what's that word? You hemorrhage, and the incubation period is much shorter, and you're more likely to die before you pass it around. Or said that wrong. The
Yeah.
pass
Just
around
like
rates are low.
yeah, just like the comment that it was that yeah, I remember Ebola was a panic because I remember when people were making rumors that somehow Ebola had like escaped and got out of like the CDC in Atlanta, something like that. And
Yeah.
I remember everybody panicked and that. Yeah, it was a strong strike. I remember everybody was shocked about it and scared, but it wasn't not. I don't remember it being like closing schools, grocery stores being bought out. Like, I don't remember it being
Yeah,
this.
it didn't cause like a lot of things to close down.
No, not at all.
That is true.
Not at all.
But do you guys
I could have
remember
remembered
it though? I was
No,
very scared of Ebola.
it came and went like nothing. I wasn't worried about it.
I still am. Like,
Yeah. Really?
I mean, even even the coronavirus, like I like everybody has changed the way they act around people that I at least that I've noticed. Like everybody's changed the way they act around. I guess in my community, and I don't know. I haven't seen it. Like I haven't seen. I get the effect on the economy, but I haven't seen it yet. Besides how people have changed their behavior, and then the effect of small businesses and how many people are out. But I wonder, are we gonna get through it before it gets any worse?
I mean, that's a really big question.
Yeah.
I
I hope
think
so.
so. You think we'll ever get back to the Great Depression?
I mean, we're kind of in it now.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're in it.
we've gotten like
No,
really close
no.
to it because
They said this is basically it.
Yeah,
that's what
I
I've
mean,
been saying.
it's
I've been
just
saying this
like
is like
look
the
at
second Great
everything that's
Depression.
shutting down in our world. Like all these
Yeah.
I never
states
thought we would
aren't
live
Some
in.
workers are laid off right now,
Yeah.
and
I never
ironically,
thought we would.
it happened almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Happened in the
Yeah.
30s, and this is 2020.
Anybody thought we would live in a lifetime like where something like this hits?
Yeah,
No.
it's always like oh, you know, yeah.
I don't want,
It's history books.
does anyone know how economy works or
Look,
like inflation? Since they're printing this money, aren't we inflating something?
well, yeah, well, I know for sure the more money that goes into the economy, the more money that the government injects, the higher
Yeah,
inflation, and that they may look good, but then again, like I said, there's factors like people not not spending this money that they're going to be receiving. You have people who are also going to let's say um okay, much rather the resources that we're given, we're gonna be using on other things. So like, some people probably will save it, but some people, I don't know. Like I just don't see. I don't see that being beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we really just have to wait for it to pass over. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm seeing a comment here that says to keep 100, we aren't as bad as
Yeah.
the Great Depression, but we won't correct it before we save it. Stock market determines the economy. We have to spend as small businesses to stimulate the economy. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
hearing that people have been saying we needed to really support the small local businesses.
Mhm.
Ultimately,
Mhm.
stock market determines prices.
Is
Yeah,
Walmart a small local business?
where?
Walmart, like the little stores. They're not. They're big.
No.
Are they?
I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah, I mean, come shop at That's Good. Give me a reason to come to work. I'm actually
Right.
still employed, so I'm happy.
Aw.
I'm still employed, so I cannot complain. I'm blessed.
The-
Raise your hand if you're employed.
I'm
Oh
not.
yeah. Ryan, you got some money in your pocket?
No, I'm broke.
Well,
No, but
well.
it's not a mindset. I mean, it's a mindset. Never mind. Rich and poor.
Yeah, you're rich. It doesn't matter what they say. Your bank account is on zero, but you're still rich.
Uh, oh, back to our topic.
That's what I say.
Poor. Mm. Did you guys hear about the gas prices?
Oh
Yeah, that's what somebody
yeah,
mentioned above. Somebody mentioned that above, said that the gas
$2 a
prices
gallon.
were like 99 cents, $2 a gallon. Cheap,
179.
cheap. How much?
My house is 179.
179? Yeah, it's so cheap. It's so
Must be
cheap.
nice.
Yeah. We have
So
the same
look,
thing right here.
it's so good. Come to the east side, guys. Come to the east side.
Waste all that
The
gas
west
to get
the
the gas.
west side gas is cheaper, if not just as cheap.
I guess. Ooh.
Talk about rich and poor. We talked about it last week, and I researched more about it. Um, Africa and gas, the gas moguls in Africa.
Mhm.
It's wild.
Really?
Like how the dictators they got all this money, and then their people are literally dirt poor. So
Really?
that relation is something interesting to talk about.
Wow.
What?
But you know what? You know what's interesting about that? The coronavirus hasn't even really. I could be wrong, but it hasn't like spread or gotten that crazy yet out there. In countries you'd expect it to, like in the continent of Africa and countries like Dominica, Haiti, the Bahamas. Like it's not as what you'd want it to be.
There's this rumor going around that it doesn't affect Black people.
Then I heard about that.
Like they're
Well, say that to
immune
Kevin
to it.
Durant. He tested positive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Black people who let me stop.
What?
Now, but think about it, though, like Black people don't really like get sick like that.
Hmm.
Mm,
Well, I'm not
no.
gonna say that.
No. I heard. Well, I was watching this YouTube clip, and they're talking about how people were saying that um, it's because the healthcare system downplays how Black people's symptoms. Does that make sense? Like they downplay how we feel. Like if we say we're hurt, they're more likely to say we're not really hurt as much
Yeah.
as the other.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say because I know, like I said, people have been saying. I mean, you gotta be careful because people have been saying that like the virus isn't for Black people. Like it just like they try to just put it down. But it's like I do know that people want not want, but we're expecting the virus to breed out of control. Like I said, in third countries that are seen as third world countries. Like Haiti and all that stuff. Dominica, Trinidad. The Caribbean. The African countries, which really isn't, I would say isn't. I mean, I don't know if it's happening right now, but it's not as detrimental, right? I could be wrong, but I remember
What, in Africa?
Oh, there's this
we're
other thing. China is funding parts of Africa.
Really?
So
China has a lot of economic stakes in Africa. And there was this report that the Chinese government funded like ventilators, healthcare equipment for Africa. So Africa is doing much better because they have help.
Africa only has a few cases. Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my god, the C on my laptop doesn't work. I was trying to type Corona. There.
Oh yeah. But it's like, do you think that Trump? I don't want to get political, but do you think do you think Trump is trying to use this like epidemic or pandemic, this situation as like a way to boost his chances of getting reelected and his boost of really trying to be nationalistic about the United States? Like, oh, we created the best testing and we're doing the best way here. When really, I'm not trying to get political, but it's the opposite. Um, we're really struggling poorly because we don't have free healthcare. Um, do you think he's using this to his clutch, or is he really? Do you guys think he's generally trying to do the best he can for what's going on?
I mean, honestly, based on his prior, I guess a lot of the comments that he even makes, to the media. I mean, I don't think. Don't get confused about what his objectives are. Um, is to keep the rich rich.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and to make sure in the long run he gets the most out of this opportunity as far as like his seat, his position.
Mm-hmm.
He's a wild card, So I feel like it's easy to say one thing to make. That's how he won. He was so honest and he kind of just said whatever he wanted, and people kind of fed into that. A lot of people it fed into that, like, oh yeah, he's just real. He's gonna all these promises he's making. The next thing you know, they backfire, and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Do you guys?
It's
I
not much he can do.
go ahead. Sorry, I keep.
Honestly, it's not much he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was thinking. I thought Donald Trump wasn't. I think he looks distressed. No, you think he's panicked? I feel like he looks manic or panicked.
Trump is. I feel like Trump is panicking. I heard that Michael Pence, the vice, I heard that he was basically saying that the United States did not need, like they were fine basically because I think it was Germany or Italy was trying to donate extra test cases to bring to the United States to help test because we're at a shortage for test cases. We're at a shortage right now testing individuals for the virus. So he basically denied the request, but it turned out that the Air Force, quote unquote, secretly flew over 100,000, I think, test cases to Nashville, Tennessee, to bring to the United States because the United States is at a shortage right now. The United States isn't doing as well as Trump and as Mike Pence have been claiming that we have enough testing kits. We're testing people when they're not testing people not nearly as enough as what South Korea is doing, what Italy's doing, and I believe those countries have free healthcare, right?
I know Italy does.
Italy does. I wonder if South Korea does, but for them to be testing at a higher rate than us and to be more successful with it, that is, mm. And then for them to deny and be like, we don't need your help, we're doing fine, when in reality that we need the help, when in reality we need the resources, we need people, we need the extra testing kits to really provide for the United States, and for it to still not for us to be at a shortage, for us to still be like struggling to only test a lower number of people a day, really a week or a month for the virus.
And back what Jonathan was saying about how Trump, like, he says one thing and something different is going on, and how he like tends to lie, like you said, Cam.
Mm.
I think he's just trying to save face for the American name, like the big picture.
Mhm.
America, I mean, for me coming from Yemen, I know America definitely has it has this aura compared to the other nations that it's big and it's this thing. If I go there, I think
Yeah.
he wants to save that kind of idea of America, you know? So for people out there who
And
not looking at us
Weren't
or
we
listening us, huh?
Mama, talk to you. You hear me doing something.
yeah, I wonder if that's I wonder if that's the thing because definitely there's a problem with your pride and nationalistic views. He's a perfect example where it can get the best of you, where it can create problems. Is because when you start to get, and there's nothing, yeah, and right, someone says so independent idea. So it's like it gets to the point where it's like yeah, but but it's like it gets to the point where, and I've seen this before on multiple times where Trump is a perfect example where you can be prideful, you can be nationalistic. I mean, I'm not going to get religious to say that because for a religion being prideful like that is a sin. But in this country, it's freedom of religion, freedom to do whatever you want to do, yada yada. But exactly. See, there's the part right there. So the comment said that if we took help, it would have made us look weak. So right there, right? It's that type of view. So you see where it's like it can get you into trouble because then you start not only lying, but it's not only hurting yourself, but it's hurting your people because you're trying, like you said, Zion, you're trying to make it seem like it's the curtain effect. You're trying to make it seem like what it is instead of looking at it for what it really is. And the American people are suffering. I don't want to get political because there are some things I agree with Trump on. There are some things I don't agree with him on. But to handle it, first of all, when the virus had first taken place, to downplay it and say that it's nothing more than the flu. Um, we're fine basically, and we're not fine. That the cases keep going up. That they're having a problem containing it. We are at a shortage of cases. People can't afford it. I mean, you can see where nationalism pride can get the best of you, where it can be your ultimate downfall, right?
Wait, wait, weren't we just okay? If I'm right, what group was it? And I'm really I feel bad for not remembering, but there was a group in Iraq, I believe, or either Iran, that was rebelling against their government and killing people. It was a terrorist group. What were they called?
ISIS?
ISIS.
ISIS. Yes. Oh, my bad. Um, so they didn't disappear, did they?
No,
I don't
they're
think
still
so.
fighting it. And
Exactly.
yeah, in
So
the
honestly, there's different motives. I believe I don't know if I could. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but groups like that are still out there. You have groups that are still waiting for an opportunity to take America. I mean, take the wealth that America's been able to accumulate and kind of like balance the playing field, or either get back at different governments because people do stuff under the table all the time. We don't even know half the things that are going on. I mean, to me, half the things that come from the government is a lie. Anyway,
Yeah.
they tell us
yeah,
what we need to hear. But now I just thought about that. I'm like, huh. I wonder how they're handling this situation. They're like, this may be a good time to come to America.
no,
Right.
they've been hurt or hit really hard. Iran, I think. They have the second
Right.
highest or the third, I'm not quite sure, of deaths, and they're really struggling right now.
I thought it was
Did you see
Afghanistan.
the
Hmm?
What about
Did you see the
Afghanistan?
virus?
I don't know about Afghanistan. Let me
I thought they
see.
had the highest deaths because a lot of people go there for war.
Well, no, we're talking about the virus. Talking about the
Oh,
virus.
never mind. Never mind.
Could have
What?
simplified the cases if we took the help. Exactly. A comment is saying that right now. Is we could have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. It's the whole nationalistic pride
Hmm.
can get the best of you because there's not. You can be proud, prideful, happy, cheerful, whatever of what you are. Yeah, and then Trump calling it the Chinese virus is racist and xenophobic, and it's not okay. I agree. Um, yeah, it's like the whole being too prideful, being too nationalistic. That's the problem. that can get you into trouble. That just gets you into problems. I mean, you look at what started World War II, was it, or one? It started from nationalism.
I think it was both.
It might have been both of them. I'm sorry. We've been out of school. We don't know how to act. I don't know how to act. But I do remember that was the cause. It was it was nationalism. Like, here we go again. And you have somebody in office who, like I said, it's fine to support bleed red, white, and blue, go America, whatever you want to do. Yeah, that's nice. But it's the fact where it's like you see where it can get you into trouble where you start risking not only yourself but 318 million innocent Americans. It's like whether basically we're at war. You have to look at it. We're at war. Yes, it's a microscopic, you know, parasite organism thing. Yeah, I understand that, but it's the fact that we are at war. Like, we're at war with this thing. It's slashing the economy. It's killing our people. It's literally like going to war. It's like living in the 30s somewhat again, which is why they're calling it the Great Depression and stuff like that. So it's like you have to be able to understand and put the best interest of the American people first, rather than just trying to flex. Like what this comment, said, that if we had took the help, if we took help, it makes the country look weak and unestablished and all this other stuff. When countries are out here like Italy, even I think China, I think there's a couple of billionaires in China that were assisting us, right? Donating money over here.
Of course.
Yeah, and for them to still be trying, and then it's like that's the whole point, is that the nationalism, the pride is too much, and it's causing the ultimate downfall of our country and killing our people.
Is anyone a history buff?
History who?
Buff.
Mm-mm.
What
I'm
Cameron
not.
is what Cameron is expressing, can anyone like refer it back to history? Because history tends to repeat itself.
If we don't learn from it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, really, or is it really every 10 minutes somebody dies in Iran? Wow, I didn't know it was that bad.
It's bad.
Jesus. I mean, sorry, excuse me. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, yeah, I mean that's what it is. I mean, just really, just like the times of living. Yeah, like, right. Is it it's supposed to be the Roaring '20s first, and then yes, I say some people say 1920s repeated in 2020. Right? It's something like that, and then you see, but it's kind of opposite, because the '30s, that was the Great Depression, and then here we are, we get hit with it. And literally, if I were to call my grandfather up, who's 93 years old right now, and he would talk about what it was like living in the Great Depression, growing up through that.
Oh,
Can't
imagine that.
Yeah, he was like 8 years old, I believe.
Wow.
8 or 9 years
Dang.
old, going through that.
You can really.
Oh, not to mention Jim Crow is also going on during that time too.
Was it really going on in the 30s?
Jim Crow
Yeah,
segregation.
it was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was. It was, and it stopped. And I'm sorry. I'm telling you, this out of school thing is just. Yeah, because I remember Jim Crow finished in 65, right?
Yeah.
64. When the Civil Rights Act of 1964 passed.
64. I knew it was, I'm calling 60s, already.
What a time the 60s was.
Right. Right. 1929. 1929 was the Great Depression. My bad.
Crash too.
Why did I say the Great Depression was in the 30s? It was the 20. Wait, when did the Great Depression start and end? It was the 20s.
It started in 29 when the stock market crashed.
When did it end?
30.
Okay, so it was. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, it went throughout the 30s for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm like, because someone saying the Great Depression is in the 20s. I thought it was. That's what I'm saying. I thought it was the 30s.
But then, like, World War II happened after that.
World War II happened after that. Yeah, 40s.
The Great Depression was between August 1929 to March 1933. Really.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
Wait, what year? 33.
33.
33. I thought it was longer than that.
1929. 30. Yes, so that's what I'm talking. Yeah, before World War II. So that's what I'm saying. Like, really, life. Really, you started to like what we're experiencing, like the businesses closing, people being like, that started. I mean, yeah, I was talking about. That's what I mean by the 30s. It really started to hit at that point. And yeah, the war helped. Remember, the war helped the economy because you remember that the war was like people they were making it propaganda. Like if we win, if we do this, it's gonna because it did stimulate the economy by having people, help with support the war. They had the women, making the food and stuff like that, supporting the war. They had the men fighting, so it did kind of help stimulate the economy. Um, but I wonder what if a war took, like I said, these are two way different time periods. But if a war took it to bring the and for who's FDR was president then, right?
Wait, who was FDR?
FDR came up with the New Deal and the financial
Yeah.
FDR, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Franklin
came up,
Delano Roosevelt.
came up with plans to kind of,
Pull us out of
I
the.
didn't do nothing. I thought it did. Okay, I'm sorry. I guess I'm wrong. I remember he had financial plans or something to try to get the economy back. Like I said, do not fact me or quote me on this. I'm just talking about what I somewhat remember because we've been out of school for so long now, and I just
Yeah, you're right. It was
It's only been a
FDR.
week.
didn't feel like it been years.
It does.
Herbert Hoover.
Herbert Hoop. Oh, I knew
Oh
it was
yeah,
somebody like
Hoover.
that. Herbert.
He was the one?
No.
No.
FDR came up with the New Deals and stuff, but I'm talking about who was the president during this time period. Like who was like
Yeah, Hoover was during the war.
yeah,
Hoover.
Okay. That makes sense.
exactly. I knew it was like I knew it. I'm just like, where am I? Crazy. So I wonder what and I mean where you and where from here. The economy where it's at right now, your country being in shambles. This is a quote unquote an invisible go from here. How do you get away from this? How do you grow from this? How do you solve this? What do you do?
I would. I think for me, first of all, personally, this is just my plan. Okay.
Okay.
First, I would pay off. Like, I think a large amount of the money that's going to us should go to healthcare workers, like an influx of cash towards them, and investing in people to go to take more biology courses that are geared for the healthcare system for the long haul, and then maybe just leave the rest to Bernie Sanders. Can deal
Oh
with
wow. Wow, Bernie's gonna get it done.
Bernie.
leave it up to Bernie, and
Mike
then
will
I
get
guess,
it done.
huh?
Mike will get it done.
Said what?
Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg. That was his little slogan before he got thrown out the race. Mike will get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine is
he's
Bernie.
gonna.
Bernie will get it done. Yeah, I think he's more.
So, mhm.
I think he's more prepared than me. So I think
Why
Bernie.
are people?
Bernie.
Why aren't people voting for him?
You
Sorry,
said
my
why are people voting for him?
No, is it? Are you on a delay zone? No, I was asking like, why aren't people, especially our age, voting for him? Why is Biden killing it, especially amongst people our age?
I don't know.
I don't know, to be
I
honest.
honestly
I can
don't
tell
know.
you.
I've talked to everyone not everyone, but I've talked in my circle. I mean, most of us want Bernie. I don't know about y'all, but I want Bernie.
You want Bernie?
Yes.
Okay, a little desperate there.
Ah! Get your own sugar one, aren't you?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Biden. I mean, I like him as a person. I just don't. He's just the same person. You know. How do you guys feel? You guys
Yeah.
answer the question. I took a left.
I think people are blocked by the fact that they think Biden, they think, oh, Obama, he's the closest thing to Obama. So there. That's what I think. I could be wrong though.
I think it also has to do with people wanting to beat Trump so bad that they're appealing to the Republican views.
Yeah.
So they feel like Biden serves that middle ground to beat Trump.
So a comment I see here is that young people are not showing up to
That is so
the
true.
polls, and then how many times? Yeah, we're not showing up for the polls. And how many times did Bernie run for president? I think this is the second
This is
time,
second
right?
time because I remember he ran back in 2016,
Yeah.
like when we were in high school, but
Yeah.
he fell short. I
Yeah.
think in the primaries.
Yeah, he fell short. So Bernie isn't winning because establishment Dems are forming behind Joe and dragging votes toward his area. Since he has more people endorsing him, people are voting for him instead of Bernie.
Mhm.
Trump will get Bernie big time. Yeah, it's the second time. Do you think that? Because I've been watching CNN. Do you think that Senator Bernie Sanders is like he's having some type of backlash because he's Jewish?
I didn't even know he was Jewish.
You're hitting something.
Because they're saying that, which I have seen, that CNN itself is very anti-Semitic, and that they've been saying and doing things against Trump, and that they've wanted Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden to get it. And I'm just like, first of all, I thought people are manipulating that, using it against him to make him look bad. I don't know. I mean, because I thought CNN is pro left, which is Democratic, which is liberal, and then Fox is right, conservative, Republican. So, I mean, I figured that they would have backed whoever what, but I have seen and heard them say a lot of negative things towards Bernie Sanders, and people think that that's why. Was it now? People are I don't know if that's why, because he's Jewish, which I think is really ignorant and crazy.
Someone brought it up to me though that Joe Biden is Catholic, and that also is a problem, especially when you look at Fox News or Republican heads. So
Yeah.
I think it's true. It's sad, but it's true. And maybe it's Bernie's personality.
Mhm.
He's a little rough. I'll admit it.
Bernie, you think he's rough?
Yeah, he's a little rough. I mean, most of the senators, they say that he's really hard to work with, and that he's been in Congress or Senate. He's been in the Senate for a long time, and he hasn't passed. He hasn't had as much cooperation within the Senate, so that's a problem for him. And then they say that he's more likely not gonna get what he's gonna say done because he's not really good at getting to work together. That's the thing.
And I'm seeing that on this. Just the comment. It says CNN is establishment for Democrats. Well, Joe and Bernie are leading the polls. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Who's leading right now?
I think still probably Joe Biden, right? Biden, does anybody know? I think it's Joe Biden in the comments. I think it's Joe Biden. Could be wrong. He can get it done. He needs more people back him that want.
Oh God.
Joe, oh my. Joe's. Yeah, I see the comment there. That's Chris. He's very that's his Philadelphia. So yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to be anti-Biden or whatever. But I just personally don't agree or see anything with him. No, you're okay. You're okay. Express how you feel. It's just threw me off. But it's just crazy to me that people are supporting Biden over Bernie, especially our age. I mean, even the people that are showing up to the, polls that are the ones that are. I mean, they're still not supporting Bernie, but then he's talking about canceling student loan debt, free healthcare, yada dee, yada da. And I'm just like, like why not?
You want to be
I mean,
honest?
well, to be honest, man, I'm one of the ones that aren't taking advantage of the power, the right that we have to vote. Because I mean, one, yeah, I'm registered to vote, but I'm not gonna lie. If it wasn't for this dude walking around saying, "Hey, bro, might be registered to vote," yeah, probably wouldn't have registered in time.
Right.
Um, but it's just something like I don't know why. It's like it's not. It's innate. It's an innate right that we should be, taking advantage of. But I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know if it's just life or we're not understanding what that laws create a culture like we really have to take control of that. And I don't know why. I don't know why for me, even me, it's not. I don't know why it doesn't press me like it should. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of culture that we live in, and maybe it's social media. Maybe it's the fact that we have so many things that distract us. But to be honest, like I don't even. It's like we just let anything happen, and and we definitely let the power um that we could have in our future be decided by older people who don't really have the interest that we really have at the moment.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree
So
with
I
you.
mean, that's on me too. But I just know there's a lot of people who didn't register to vote. I know that for sure.
A whole lot, and there usually is. That turns out every time it's like they're not
Yeah.
voting. They don't register to vote, and really it's lacking in the minority. Really in our communities,
Facts.
it's lacking. We're not going out there voting, and
Okay,
even
I'm
it's
gonna
like
sound dumb, but
okay,
you have to keep registering in order to vote. I
Yeah.
sound dumb. Yeah,
Well, I did. I mean, well, I registered this year and last year.
every time. Okay.
I mean, well, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. And now that I'm thinking about it, before I registered to vote, I always thought, and this is me being ignorant. I always said, like, what does it matter? At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's gonna be electoral votes that have the power to determine who actually is put into a presidential role for president. Um, and I just felt like we didn't really have a voice. So, I mean, that was my mindset. I mean, I could, I mean, I know I'm not right, but that's just how I felt when I was like maybe a couple years ago.
a lot of people think that. A lot of people have felt like that too. Yeah.
Oh, it says voter registration is permanent. However, you can fall off the voter registration roll if you failed to vote in any election the past 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
It says voter registration is permanent. However, you can fall off the voter registration roll if you failed to vote in any election the past 2 years.
Um, oh, well. All right, is everybody here registered? Just curious.
Well,
Not
I'm
yet.
registered.
I mean, I was, but I have
Mhm.
to go through it again. I believe, right?
Cough, cough. Look, no one's going out to register this
Hey,
year.
by the way, I couldn't
Honestly,
vote.
Register from home.
Oh yeah, you could. And they have absentee ballots.
Can we vote from home?
I think you can vote from home, right? And then yeah, they do have absentee ballots. And then of course you have to remember the voter suppression and stuff like that. Like in black communities, it's not like they're definitely having problems with poll machines and stuff.
Mhm. Oh, and you can vote twice if you had an absentee ballot.
Yeah,
It's a whole yeah. No, you're not supposed to, but you could cheat this.
that makes sense. Makes sense.
Jesus.
See, here's comment. made.
Yeah, I'm getting tired now.
Do you guys wait? Last question, I think. Do you guys think Bernie should run independent? Because he will split up the vote.
I would say.
Like, does he have a? I mean, is he a Democrat?
Yeah, he's doing it under the Democratic Party, but if he becomes independent,
So I'm saying no. I'm saying no. I think no. The Georgia election for Georgia. I don't know if this person's in Georgia, but ours, the Democratic primary was supposed to be March. Well, it's supposed to be next week, the 25th, I think. But it's not going to happen because of what's going on. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I don't think you should, but you guys ready to wrap?
yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Well,
Unless you want to, or you don't. Right?
if you want to straight, it's fine. It says Bernie is a Democratic runner by nature, and the issue is that he's far left, and people overstimulate the idea and make it seem good. Most likely so. Chris, next time we do this, we'll have you as a special guest on here because we're getting ready to end. Okay. So of course, thank you everybody for tuning in. We were on here for 2 hours and a half, so it's good. Good time. It's about
You guys,
that.
oh, you want to go back to the first question to like curb it up?
Yeah.
Is it that deep?
Yeah.
Rich and poor.
Mike, wasn't it?
Where is he?
Right. Was it that deep? Is it that deep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess so.
That rich and poor and your mindset, mentality, and then the virus. Definitely is. It was deep. It's that deep.
And shout out to the people who commented, right?
Most definitely, yeah. Thank you for all that comment. I can't scroll through all the comments, but if you did comment, appreciate that. Give us subscribe. No, actually, wait, don't do that because this isn't the permanent channel. We're going to have our own channel. Is it that deep? Subscribe to that one. And do you want me to go ahead and tag the social media? Put the social media page up here.
Okay.
So Instagram. Is it that deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that deep? Oh, it's OG. Is it that deep?
Yeah.
Is it that deep?
Yeah, give it a follow. That's the Instagram right there. Go ahead and give the Instagram a follow if you can with the Instagram. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, so definitely follow Instagram for you guys that were tuning in here. We'll give it a minute in the screenshot and look at that. I want to make sure that's correct, right?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Yep.
Good. I was about to say.
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't you dare follow my internet. All right, so follow the Instagram page, support, like all that. Do not subscribe here because this is not the typical channel.
Subscribe here.
I don't post nothing. I ain't got nothing. Don't look at my stuff. I ain't got nothing. No, it's definitely Is It That Deep channel, which will be together. So like I said, subscribe on Instagram, or follow on Instagram, and then Mike should have the YouTube channel up on the Instagram, and then it will be like easier like that. Okay.
Thank
we
you,
go ahead.
Tyson. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thanks, Zion. Thanks, Tyson. Thanks, John. Thank y'all for tuning in. It was fun as always. Had a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
All right.